Hi everyone, welcome to Board Attacks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 5 French light tank, the AMX ELC. Used to be called the AMX ELC, now it's the AMX ELC bis. Not sure what bis stands for, doesn't tell me anyway. But it's been driven today by Heligamer 564 from SBNA clan. And he absolutely loves his AMX ELC bis. He's got one mark of excellence on it already, and if this game's anything to go by, he'll have some more in no time at all. Now it's a bit of a slow start, this one, but it's a good exercise in spotting. I've never really noticed this spotting area. You can see on the minimap a lot of the tanks from Heligamer's side have gone east into the small town, and two heavies and a panther look like they're heading into the big city. Now by sitting back here and activating his binoculars, he's lit up that T29. And he's holding back. He's not going to fire a shot because he's pretty sure that if he fires a shot, someone else might hit him. No, he fires at the IS-3, which is a bit of a brave move considering there's a Super Pershing just been spotted right in front of him. Super Pershing cops a bit of a battering from Heligamer's team, but it looks like he didn't get spotted. That's the good thing about the ELC AMX. It is very hard tank to spot. It's got very good camouflage values, and I'm pretty sure Heligamer has played a hell of a lot of games in it, so I'm tipping his crew skills are pretty good, and of course that would include camouflage skills. Lights up some more tanks even before his binoculars get activated. His binos and camouflage net are now activated. He's lit up a lot of those tanks that you can now see. The OI, the T29, the little light tank, the Tiger P, IS 5, amongst others. Showing great restraint, just kicking back, soaking up some spotting damage. He's done 767 spotting damage already, and that's gonna improve. There's another 600 into the OI, or 300 into the OI. And he's keeping those tanks lit for those blokes who were sniping behind him. Requesting fire onto the OI because the OI, of course, it's a pretty tough nut to crack, but the M4A1 Reveloir takes him out of the game, and Heligamer's team looking pretty good now. 4-2. They've lost a couple of Tier 7 tanks, but it's a Tier 8 game, and Heligamer knows that obviously those Tier 8, some of those Tier 8 tanks are pretty big, so he's not going to be fighting them head to head. He's going to just keep lighting them up for his team, which is exactly the right thing to do when you're in a low tier light tank. Of course, AMX ELC. You can obviously see Tier 8 games, even though it's only a little Tier 5 French tank, they're hard to see, and they get very good camo ratings. But it has got a pretty handy gun, and you're going to see his handy gun go to work a little bit later in the battle. 5-4 is now the score. He's still not confident enough to start shooting, because that IS-3 might see him from where he is. So he shows great restraint. Lets those heavy tanks move back. And looking at the minimap, looks like the heavy tanks on the enemy side are going back to their base. They're not pushing on towards Heligamer's cap. That IS-5 copping a fair bit of damage, and as does the prototype. And Heligamer just content to keep these tanks lit up, which is exactly the right thing to do in this situation. They're close enough to spot him now if he does fire. So he's not firing, he's just soaking up the spotting damage, as I said earlier, and maintaining vision for his team. There's nobody else anywhere near as close to these tanks as he is, so he's the one spotting them all for all these tanks on the right hand side of the map. 6-5 is the score, and he picks up another 286 spotting damage on the Tier 8 American tank destroyer. And the IS-3 has gone absolutely YOLO. They did pick up a kill down the southern part of the map, but it cost them the life of that heavy Russian tank, the IS-3. Now, obviously, that IS-3, who's now dead, he's doing what dead people often do and pinging the map profusely. I would be pretty annoyed. Nothing is more annoying when people ping the map so much that it sort of covers your team list on the left hand side of the screen. Now the enemy heavy tanks have now relocated, and you can see they're in the more central part of the map. They've pushed onto that M4 and taken him out of the game. 8-7 is the score, and Heli Gamer has decided now it might be the time to move. The 1357 Tier 7 French auto-loading light tanks pulling back with the Charioteer. The Gigabyte and the Mutts sort of looks like they're content to stay in the town as Heli Gamer runs away, but he keeps his gun in the game, and he should be able to, even though he's back a fair way, he should be able to maintain some vision and maybe fire a few shots as he waits for that French gun to aim. Unlucky for that one not to land, but the Gigabyte does the job, gets through to the Tier 8 heavy tank. There's still two Tier 8 heavy tanks left on the enemy side, the IS-3 and the T-34, both pretty heavily armoured compared to the tanks that Heli Gamer has on his side. He's all got, it's him and another light, and the remaining tank destroyers with a couple of medium tanks. And I'm pretty sure that Mutts is only on 7 health, so of course that Mutts is going to have to be very conservative. And the Gigabyte at Tier 6 is going to be pretty conservative as well, because he's Tier 6. 10-9 is the score. Somehow Heli Gamer's team still have the lead, but looking at what's left on the enemy side probably have the hit points and the armour, so they need to be smart about this if they're going to turn this game into a win. Now he's camoed up, he's got his camo and binos up. I don't think he's going to risk shooting that Tiger P. The Tiger P is not that far away from him. He's just hoping that somebody else does though. And that T-44-100 looks like it's pushing through. The RHM's in the town. There's a little nook in the wall, and that enemy IS-3 kills the Gigabyte, which evens up the scoreboard 10-all. Now Heli Gamer taking a bit of a risk here. His team are very spread out, making it very hard to work together. This 1375 is probably trying to spot the city. The RHM looks like he's about to have a fight with the T-34. I know who my money would be on in that battle. And now that Tiger P, his health has been taken down, but there's also a KV-2 and a T-44 sort of to back him up. Now they're a fair way away from Heli Gamer as he looks for a side shot in the T-44-100. Not brave enough to fire, because that Tiger P sees him. Good chance that at least 2 tanks would start shooting at him. And with only 400 hit points on the Tier 5 light tank, you really can't waste those hit points on loose shots. 2,150 spotting damage so far for Heli Gamer 564 from SBN A Clan in his AMX ELC. There's 7 minutes, just under 7 minutes left on the timer, and it looks like his team are slowly regrouping, and I think that's what Heli Gamer is probably waiting to do. The Charioteer has joined the Mutts on the eastern flank, and it looks like that 1375 might be a little, if he can get away, he'll probably be okay. Now that the KV-2 and the T-44 have moved a little bit further north, Heli Gamer takes a punt and shoots the Tiger P in the top of the turret. Doesn't get spotted in the process, and that brings the German heavy tank down to a 1-shot. And with all the other enemy tanks a long way away, he decides it's time to do a bit of a YOLO. The Tiger P shoots and misses. Heli Gamer keeps his tank away from the German gun, and he gets his first kill of the game, evening the score up again at 11 apiece. It's taking a reload. You can see the 1357, I should say. He's back at the base, trying to keep eyes on the base in case the T-34 and the IS-3 push through the town, I guess. Or that T-44-100, which looks like he's pushing on the light tank. And he'll be praying, now that all 3 of those enemy tanks are up there, he will be praying that the Charioteer and the PZ-58 are shooting away, which it looks like they are. Heli Gamer looks around the corner. You can see the KV-2's aimed at him, or aimed at where he would poke, as the AMX 1357F gets taken out. The PZ-58 and the Charioteer both heading back to the base. Of course, that PZ still only on 7 hit points. Charioteer on 800, I think it is. Yeah, 807. So, of course, that Mutts has to be a little bit conservative, because The T-34 and the IS-3 have 1,000 hit points between them. But Heli Gamer is playing around with this KV2. Wants to get rid of him, and then he can go back and help his teammates back at the base, at least spot the base for him. He's going to need to get rid of this KV2 first. Looks like the KV2 was caught napping there, was aiming the wrong way, so Heli Gamer picks up his second kill of the game. And he's not going to go to cap, is he? I don't think he will. Let's see what he does. Heli Gamer takes care not to run over the cap circle. Looks like he's going to be taking this in a different direction. He does put a toe on the cap, which, if they're aware, that will make those two heavy tanks think that maybe they should stay on the cap to avoid getting capped out themselves. But now Heli Gamer going around the back way to try and light these tanks for his teammates. There's only 13 seconds left on the clock though, so he's going to have to be quick. The T-34 is lit, and it looks like one of those tanks just took some damage off the T-34, but they're going to have to take some damage off the IS-3 because the IS-3 hasn't been spotted for a while, and he could cap this out on his own. The IS-3 would have all of the hit points. Now he knows he's been spotted because he's turning his way. Shoots, does nothing, but I think the Mutts might have tracked the IS-3, or that someone put a high explosive round into the IS-3, resetting the cap circle, bringing it back down to 30 odd seconds. And Heli Gamer very lucky not to get damaged by the IS-3 as the Charioteer kills the T-34, which was the right tank to kill. That was the tank that had the most cap points because the IS-3 had already been reset. And now the IS-3 on very low health as he waits for his gun to load, and bang, it's a good result in the end. 15-12, Heli Gamer in his AMX ELC. Not a bad bit of teamwork towards the end of the game at all. Unlucky not to get an ace tanker in that one. First class mastery badge, spotter, 5 for effect, but he only did 623 hit points of damage, but 3 kills and all that spotting damage, that's what did it. As well as that teamwork towards the end with the Charioteer and the Panzer 58 Mutts premium German medium tank. Made a little bit of dough out of that, but not a bad game at all from Heli Gamer, 564 in his AMX ELC Tier 5 French light tank. Thanks for the replay, Heli. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and see you all next time.